Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Andy, and today's video is going to be the 10 most frequently asked flight attendant questions. I guess this is kind of a trend that's going around among the US flight attendants. I thought I would answer these questions but with like a South African point of view, because some of them apply to us and some of them don't apply to us. And yeah, so for those of you who also follow like American flight attendants, then I'm sure you'll enjoy this if you're South African, just to know that like, does this actually apply to me or not? If you're new here, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you'll stick around and check out some of my other content, and if you enjoy that, then possibly hit the subscribe button. Okay, let's get right into this. I'm gonna try to keep it short and sweet because there's 10 questions plus a bonus question. Question number 1, how do I become a flight attendant? I have a video, my very first video on YouTube was called How Do I Become a Flight Attendant in South Africa. So if you haven't checked that out, please do. I will link it up on the screen right now and in the description box. It's always in my description box, so you can go check that out. Basically, it is a little bit different to how you do it in the US though, because for us, we do have to qualify first. We have to do a course, we have to get our cabin crew license first, and then we can only be eligible to apply for jobs with airlines. So that's the major difference there. Question number 2, do you have any remedies for jet lag and bloating? South Africa is a small country, so we are on one time zone. So if you're going to be flying locally, generally you won't experience jet lag. But if you are traveling internationally, my best advice for jet lag actually, and it's funny because everyone else says that you should take a nap as soon as you land wherever you are going, and I'm completely against that, because if I do take a nap in the middle of the day, then by the time night comes I won't be able to sleep. So my biggest thing is try to immediately adjust to that area's time zone. So if you land somewhere at like 4 o'clock in the evening, try to actually stay awake so that you go to bed at the same time as everybody else in that country, and then you'll pretty much instantly start to adjust to their time zone, and your body clock will start adjusting to that, so that you get like a full night's sleep and you wake up at the same time as everyone else as well. And then for bloating, I'd say try to stay away from fruit and certain vegetables like right before you fly, because when those are digesting, they actually emit a lot of gases, and that's what like bloats you up and makes you gassy. So you want to try to stay away from like fruits and vegetables like cabbage and broccoli and Brussels sprouts and stuff like that. And then other than that, just drink lots of water. Water is the best remedy for flying. Question number 3, how many days off do you get? That depends on the airline you're flying for. With us in South Africa, legally you can get about 6 days of duty, and then 1 day off, and then 5 days of duty, and then two consecutive days off. And then that's like a whole 14-day cycle, and then that starts over again. It just depends on your roster. Sometimes you can get 3 days off in 1 week, sometimes you can get only 2 days off in 1 week. It depends on your roster, but also our rosters, especially if you're working for like an airline, you are allowed to like swap days off with other people. So if you need an extra day off because you want to go away for a weekend or something, then you can always swap with somebody else, you know, like just work it around your roster. You'll see when you start flying, but basically it's something you can get around, you know. Otherwise you just request ahead of time that you need specific days off. Other than that, legally you'll definitely have at least 1 day off in a week, and then you have to have at least 1 weekend off in a whole month. So question number 4, how long is reserve for your airline? So this was one of the things I wanted to talk about, because in South Africa we don't have reserve. Like no one just has a reserve month. But in general, if you're working for like one of the airlines in South Africa, you won't have reserve at all from when you like have finished training and you are a qualified flight attendant in that company. You get a roster, you get like a set roster, and you know which days you're flying, you know exactly which days you're off, you know which days you're on standby. So you will have days where you're on like home reserve or airport standby, where you should be like waiting and ready in case they need you to fly. Everyone will have at least one of those days a week in their roster, but everyone generally, they'll know exactly what flights they're doing every single month. And then obviously in there'll be a couple of days where you're on home reserve or a couple of days where you're on airport standby. and those are the only times that you might not know if maybe you'll get called out or maybe you won't or whatever, but you should be ready. But in general, yeah, we all have like a full month roster, and you know exactly when you're going to be flying, when you're on reserve, when you're going to be off. Ultimately, we don't have such a thing as reserve, like in the same way as Americans do. We don't have like reserve months or line months. We always have a roster. Question number 5, did you get to pick your base? For us, it doesn't work the same way. Basically, an airline will be recruiting for a certain base already. So it's not like they're just recruiting for Comair or whatever countrywide. No, it'll actually say we are looking for Johannesburg-based flight attendants, or we are looking for Durban-based flight attendants. So people in Durban who have the qualifications and stuff and who are interested in applying for the job will apply for the job. Sometimes it just so happens that maybe you live in Durban and you get called in for a Johannesburg interview and you end up getting the position to be based in Johannesburg. Some people will actually move to that base. And sometimes when you join the company, you can say, listen, I live in Durban, I would prefer to be based in Durban, but for the time being, I don't mind being based in Joburg, or whatever the case is. Or maybe you don't know anybody and you don't have the luxury of just moving to Johannesburg or something. Sometimes they'll actually make a plan. One of my friends was employed as a Durban-based crew member, but she lives in Johannesburg. And when she joined and through our training, they were aware that she like lives in Johannesburg and that she couldn't like move to Durban. So then they actually changed her to be a Johannesburg-based flight attendant. So from day one, she's been Johannesburg-based, but ultimately she was actually initially employed as a Durban-based flight attendant. So it's a little bit flexible. Sometimes if they really don't have space for you in that specific base, then they will employ you for a different base, and then after a few months you can just move over to the other base when they have space there. Okay, question number 6, how tall do you have to be for your airline? In South Africa, generally the minimum is 1.55 meters. That is the minimum, but usually it's just as long as you can reach the overhead storage bins and close it or open it, and if you can reach the emergency equipment inside of the overhead storage bin, then it's fine. Generally it's 1.55 meters. I'm not too sure if it's changed, I don't know, you'll have to ask the particular airline you're joining, but generally that is our minimum. Question number 7, how many years of customer service experience do you need? In South Africa, it depends. It depends on what the airline wants. There are some airlines that will actually state in the job posting that you need to have at least 1 year flying experience, or 1 year customer service experience, and other airlines will say you need to have at least 3 years customer service experience. So it definitely depends on the airline you're applying to. Just make sure you actually read their requirements. But I would say a safe sort of place to be is about 2 years of customer service experience. Between 1 and 2 years, I think you're good, but not really less than a year. I don't think if you have like 4 months of customer service experience, I don't think that they'll be happy with that. I think you need to have a little bit more. Question number 8, tips on passing the interview portion. I have made like 3 or 4 interview related videos, so just go and check those out. I go really in depth with them about your makeup, your outfit for men and women, what you need to bring, what you should do and what you shouldn't do, stuff like that. You'll find all of that in those videos. But my biggest tip is just to be professional. Make sure you smile, make sure you're friendly, and also make sure you're honest. So don't lie and make up stuff, because usually they can tell, and they do check your references and stuff, so you know. Okay, question number 9, what made you want to become a flight attendant? I've spoken about this too. I think it was in my flight attendant tag video. For me, basically, I was an au pair. My host dad works in aviation. Him and I had a really inspiring discussion one day, and it's just been aviation ever since. Okay, question number 10 is advice for new flight attendants. Oh, my biggest advice for new flight attendants is, I actually think I want to make a video specific to that, because I have made one before, but now I have a few more things I want to talk about. Biggest thing I guess for this video is humility is everything, and I'm sure I've mentioned that before, but I think humility is everything. You'll be shocked at how many people who are brand new flight attendants, like brand new to the job, brand new to the company, will walk in with just the biggest head, and they just want to disagree with everything, and they want to challenge everything, and they just want to have the biggest attitude. And I don't think that that's okay. I don't think it's okay in any career. You can't just like entry level, like just be walking into a place thinking that you know better than everybody else that's been there for like years. I think humility is the biggest thing. Ask questions, be curious, take it in, the constructive criticism, take it well, you know, just be humble. Just, it's, yeah, like, you know, rather be the person that can be corrected, that everybody knows, like, okay, even if she makes a mistake, it's fine because she actually does take correction well, instead of being the person that's very argumentative and challenging. Then you become just like a sour apple, and then nobody wants to work with you. It makes the rest of the crew very uncomfortable, and it makes the seniors get fed up with you, and they get very annoyed very easily, and they can report you for your attitude. They can, and I actually don't blame them, because I've seen some flight attendants with really bad attitudes, so I don't even blame the seniors for reporting them. When it gets to the point where even the pilots don't want to work with you, then that says something. So just be humble, be friendly to everyone, be eager to actually do your job, be there to do your job. At the end of the day, this isn't just about Instagram and taking photos and, you know, wearing heels and people looking at you when you're walking through the airport. It's about safety, and it's about customer service. So be willing to actually do your job and learn to do your job well. Okay, and then the final bonus question is there anyone that you would like to collaborate with in person from YouTube? It could be beauty, lifestyle, or even a fellow flight attendant. Okay, in terms of the fellow flight attendant YouTubers, the very first YouTuber who's a flight attendant that I watched, that, like, you know, when my interest peaked, was Fly with Stella. So getting to meet her or getting to, you know, collaborate with her would be amazing. The Chocolate Stew, Life by Francesco, I would love to collaborate with them. And then somebody that's not like part of the flight attendant, a South African YouTuber that I would love to collaborate with would be someone like Y'all's channel. I'd love to collaborate with her, just like she can teach me about life, you know. I would love to collaborate with Nicolette Mashile. She does like financial type of videos, so she could maybe teach me how to be financially, like, you know, on top of my game. That would be awesome. Yeah, those are the people. I think it's quite a few people I'd be willing to collaborate with. Yeah, but that is my answer for now. Okay guys, so that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Is there any other question you would like me to answer? Leave it down in the comment section below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Please don't forget to spread good vibes and be kind, and I'll see you all on the next one. Bye!